My fiancé keeps ignoring his mom's insults and letting her undermine me. Now I'm wondering if I should call off the wedding. I'm getting married in 6 weeks to James, 30M, who I genuinely love. He's kind, funny, supportive, or at least he was until wedding planning turned into what feels like an extended episode of Mean Girls, with his mother, Karen, 56F, playing the role of Regina George's older, scarier, passive-aggressive cousin. I've always been super non-confrontational. Like I'm the kind of person who says, "Oh no, it's fine," when the waiter brings the wrong food because I don't want to be a bother. I hate drama. I hate conflict. I'd rather swallow my feelings whole than deal with the awkwardness of an argument. But Karen is turning me into the kind of person who screams into pillows. At first, I thought she was just the typical overbearing mother. You know, the no one is good enough for my son type. But this is different. She's not outright rude. It's worse than that because everything she does is wrapped in this "I'm just being helpful" package, which makes me feel crazy for even getting upset. At my bridal shower, she stood up and gave this heartfelt speech, ending with, "I always pictured James with someone more refined, but Sarah's so fun and casual. It really keeps things interesting." The whole room laughed, and I sat there wondering if anyone else felt the second-hand sting. She's part of this little clique of family friends. Think adult, cool moms, who wear matching yoga gear and drink wine like it's a personality trait. They make me feel like an outsider at my own engagement events. I swear, it's like I'm back in high school, trying to sit at the lunch table with girls who pretend they don't hear me. She gifted me a book called The Art of Being a Good Wife. When I awkwardly laughed, she said, "Oh, it's just a little joke, but marriage can be challenging for women who have been so career-focused. Thought you appreciate it." Like what? Am I supposed to be grateful? At a family dinner, she glanced at my plate and said, "Wow, you're not one of those brides obsessed with crash dieting, huh? Good for you." I didn't even know how to respond because was that a compliment? An insult? Both. She once pulled me aside and said, "Planning a wedding can be overwhelming, especially if you're not naturally organized. But you're doing your best, and that's what matters." This was after I mixed up one vendor appointment, like, sorry for being human. She constantly forgets basic things about me. She introduces me to people like I'm an afterthought. "This is James's fiancé, Sarah, right? She works with numbers or something." I'm a data analyst. I've told her this multiple times. She just doesn't care to remember. The worst part, James doesn't see it. Every time I try to talk to him, he says, "That's just how she is," or "She doesn't mean it like that." He's not a mama's boy, he's just blind to the subtle stuff because he's grown up with it. My family, they're the keep the peace type. My mom literally said, "She's probably just nervous about losing her son. Don't take it personally." Like, okay, but why does her anxiety have to become my emotional punching bag? The only person who's truly been in my corner is my maid of honor, Lena. She's the kind of friend who would fight a bear for me. She's witnessed Karen's behavior firsthand and has even called her out in the most polite, cutting way imaginable, basically my hero. Sheswa also has been gently trying to push me towards standing up for myself. Now here's the thing, I've seriously considered calling off the wedding. But the idea of doing that, absolutely terrifying. Not just because I love James, but because dealing with the fallout sounds like my worst nightmare. The awkward conversations, the disappointment, the feeling of having failed, it's enough to make me want to crawl under a blanket and never come out. But at the same time, I'm scared of walking down that aisle with this giant pit in my stomach, knowing I ignored every red flag because I was too afraid to speak up. So, am I overreacting? Is this normal wedding stress that everyone deals with? Or am I ignoring something that's only going to get worse after the vows are said? I just need opinions from people who aren't biased, because I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Commenter, op here everyone above has given you a glimpse of the endless possibilities of what your future might be by marrying into this family. You are not just marrying him, it would be his mom. Your fiancé is ignoring the problem and effectively dismissing your feelings, but expects you to take his mom's backhanded comments and uncalled for opinions. Someone peaked in high school and not even bother to put his own mother in her place. I mean, you can do it, but he'll probably will take mommy's side. Like they've said above, try to have a conversation with James and see if there is any hope. Express how you feel and how has this been affecting you, and it feels as if he is not giving any support. Saying that's how she is enabling and adding to the problem. The lack of action is ironically still a type of action. That said, it's about you and him. You guys are entering a partnership to make your own family. If she wants to state her opinion, that's it, you guys make the rules. If anything, you could postpone the wedding. Note, but know you have a support system. It's your mental health taking a toll with all of this. You're the one who is being attacked regardless of maybe it because she's losing her son. That's no excuse for an adult 56-year-old woman to be acting. Do what's right for you. Hope everything goes well. No, you are not overreacting. That does sound super passive-aggressive and rude. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. And if your fiancé doesn't see it or get on board with you now, it's just gonna continue to get worse. If you plan to have a family of your own someday, I can only imagine how much worse that she would get. I had an ex-mill like that, and it was so not worth it. She made me feel bad about my weight, just made me feel ugly overall. And I never had a complex about that before her. Some people just like to tear others down, and they are so charismatic as narcissists usually are that others won't see it as easily. So if your fiancé doesn't start seeing it, then I wouldn't go through with it until he gets a handle on his mother's actions. And remember, just because he is used to it doesn't make it okay. At the end of the day, this is your life and you need to listen to your gut instinct. But I will say this. Your FMIL will not change, but will more than likely get worse after the wedding, and even worse beyond that if you choose to have kids. Will you be able to handle a woman that is constantly belittling you as a wife and mother? If your fiancé isn't standing up for you now, he won't do it later. You even said he doesn't see anything wrong with his mother's behavior. That's a red flag. If he doesn't see it, he won't protect you from it. As for your mother, she's not the one who has to endure the constant criticism and backhanded comments. You are. Plus her advice is basically to allow some toxic woman destroy your mental health to keep the peace. Really? Nope. Not today. Keeping the peace only enables toxic people's bad behavior. With all due respect, don't listen to your mother because that's total BS. I know you love your fiancé, and he may seem wonderful. But if you can't count on him to be a true partner who supports and defends you even against his own family, then he is not the one. Also, you may not want to deal with the hassle and fallout of canceling the wedding, but imagine just how much bigger and messier the fallout will be during the divorce when you realize your mill's bad behavior and your husband's lack of support is untenable. You can always postpone and have a serious conversation with your fiancé about your concerns. Perhaps even go to couples counseling to help you both navigate how to handle his mother. But absolutely do not marry someone just because you're too afraid to disappoint a bunch of other people. The only disappointment that should be your focus is your own. You only have one life to live. Don't waste it by surrounding yourself with people who neither respect nor support you. You need more people like Lena in your life.